Hi guys, muddledmuppet here. How you doing? Today I am joined by a YouTube buddy of mine, Lillestoel. He's a fellow Far Cry fan, like me, totally excited and getting hyped for the release of Far Cry. How you doing, bud?
Very good.
Right, would you just like to introduce yourself to my viewers?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this video is going up on both of our channels, but I'm Lillestoel. I've been a Far Cry fan since I got my PS3. My first shooter game actually was Far Cry 2. I played some Far Cry 1 on my friend's PC before that, but Far Cry 2 really blew up with, the map editor and the multiplayer.
I fucking loved Far Cry 2. So I had
Oh,
some of
yeah.
the best gaming experiences that I've ever had have been in Far Cry 2. But listen, mate, before we go much further, we need to clear something up about what the fuck do I call you? Because you're Norwegian and you've got this name, Lillestoel. Now, in the UK, people always shorten names because we're lazy bastards over here. And the only way that I can think of shortening your name is to call you Lily.
Yeah,
So-
Lillestoel. Lillestoel's my. It's a slightly tweaked version of my last name from real life, and I use that on Xbox. Hopefully I'll get my gamertag back on PlayStation. I use it on Steam, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, everything. And it's kind of difficult for you guys from America and England to pronounce because it's kind of long, and you pronounce it in a different way. But I don't mind you calling me Lily.
So
And
if I call you Lily, it's not going to cause any gender confusion or confusion about
Nope.
gender identity.
oh no.
Alrighty, cool.
There's Lily isn't a name in Norway, so and to everyone who's watching as well, if you could post a comment on our videos and let me know how you would abbreviate or just casually come up with a nickname for me as a person based on Lillestoel, which is my name. That would be kind of cool to see what you guys have in store.
You're entering dangerous territory asking my viewers to come up with a name for you because they will start saying things like cock or something like that. Anyway, right, let's move on then, Lily. Far Cry 4. Are you excited?
Oh yes.
Now,
Yeah, I bet.
one of the bits of news that came up recently, which I came across on your channel, is about we're going to have vehicles in Far Cry 4.
Indeed.
And I mean, as you know, Far Cry 2 was fantastic in the way we could make our own maps and we could put the vehicles in them. Then Far Cry 3 came along and it fucked it up. So what do you think about having vehicles in Far Cry 4?
So I think they've seen a lot of the feedback from Far Cry 3, and it seems like they've actually put some resources into making Far Cry 4 a good multiplayer, because it seems like with Far Cry 3 they just kind of, some people call Far Cry 3's multiplayer tacked on, which is kind of true, I guess, because it seems like they just try to copy the Call of Duty recipe for multiplayer with small, fast-paced maps
Yeah.
and kill streaks. And it's a lot like Call of Duty, and it wasn't really a creative process, because they didn't come up with the multiplayer themselves. But it seems like when they're going back to the Far Cry 2 concept with vehicles, they're going to have to do something that they invented themselves, and they're going to have to be creative about it.
Right.
And I think, like, honestly, this is being recorded a long time before Far Cry 4 is coming out, and we haven't even seen a reveal for the multiplayer yet. But I think and I hope that we're going to see a good multiplayer, because based on what we know this far, and I've seen some interviews, they've put resources into making it good, and they're listening to feedback, because that's actually one of the reasons why we're doing this dual commentary, was because I and Muppet here was talking about how Far Cry has a very mature audience, and a lot of the people who are playing Far Cry and giving feedback are giving constructive feedback, and we're being very honest, and as opposed to all those Call of Duty and Battlefield fanboys who always just say COD sucks or Battlefield sucks.
Yeah, right. Lily, I'm gonna interrupt you here, mate. Right. Yes, I think we do give very constructive feedback to Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Now, in some ways, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Ubisoft. They make some of my favorite games, and I love the games that they come up with, right? But they have a terrible history of interaction with the community, and they don't always actually show that they are listening to us. Now, again, just looking at a little bit of history, before Far Cry 3 came out, we found out we weren't going to have vehicles, and everyone was really pissed off about it. But when Far Cry 3 was released, the vehicles thing became a pretty small issue, because what the big issues was that there was terrible voice communications within the game. Hold on a second. Dog, shut the fuck up or I'm going to kill you. Right. There was terrible voice communications in the game. There was a terrible lobby system in the game. There was a terrible system for getting your maps played and getting other people to play along with them and stuff. Terrible systems for rating the maps. And they'd almost destroyed the franchise as far as multiplayer goes. Far Cry 2 was still being played, a few years after its release. And Far Cry 3, you were struggling to find a game within a couple of months after its release. So,
yeah.
So
Far Cry 2 is actually, as far as I know, Far Cry 2 is still more played than Far Cry 3 online.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised about that. So kind of, like, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place here, because I really want Far Cry 4 to succeed. We have to acknowledge the fact that they give us this map editor. Instead of having to sort of like spend $20 or something on another 3 maps for a fucking game, we can make as many maps as we want. And there are some incredibly talented map creators out there, of which you're going to see plenty on my channel and plenty on Lily channels, because we do review maps. So there are some incredibly talented people out there. So we have to sort of acknowledge that Ubisoft has done a fantastic thing and given us this creator. But I think it's also legitimate to have concerns about how they're going to handle the whole experience. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, so first off, I do not only look at the map editor as an option or an alternate option for DLC. Like instead of having to buy DLCs for new maps, we get the map editor, because it's not only that, it's a core part of the game, and it's a feature on its own that makes the game unique. And I think I saw this interview with Alex, the creative director for Far Cry 4.
Yeah.
And they're making the map editor in Far Cry 4 into something more than just multiplayer maps. So this is not confirmed, I think. But I think I heard him say that they're going to have the option to make single player maps and co-op maps with AI and vehicles.
I really hope they're going to do that. I would love, to be able to play other people's single player maps and, like you say, co-op maps. That would just be endless fun for me. I really hope that they do go with that. So we're going to start wrapping this up. What is your biggest hope and your biggest fear for Far Cry 4, buddy?
Okay, so biggest hope. I hope that they take the multiplayer seriously, which is a process that would already have to be initiated at this time. So I hope they have been taking the multiplayer seriously, and that we're going to get a solid product that has fixed all the flaws. And I mean, there was a lot of flaws in Far Cry 3, so hoping for them all to be resolved would be asking a lot, I guess. But I mean, when we're paying $60 for a game, that is to be expected, that the big issues we had in Far Cry 3 are resolved. So we'll have less lag, we'll have voice communication, which, by the way, the voice chat, the party chat system on the PS4 will kind of fix in itself, so we won't have to be...
Right, hate to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say. But
meeting new people. Meeting
new people.
Yeah.
Most of the friends that I've made on PlayStation have been from meeting people in games and talking to them and finding out you've got something in common and just kind of rolling with it.
Yeah. I agree with that, because it should be a fixed feature for Far Cry 4, but at the same time, personally, I'm still gonna find people on the forums to play with, and it's not gonna be an issue that annoys me constantly. Although it should be fixed as well, because meeting new people is something you should be able to do in a game like that. So my biggest hope for Far Cry 4 is basically as simple as that. I hope the game will be the perfect first-person shooter that will defeat both Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Battlefield Hardline in terms of multiplayer, which is, I know, unrealistically much, because those games are big. But I think if Far Cry 4 is being made well, it could surpass them, although maybe not in just one title, but maybe in the future. And I hope Far Cry 4 will have the best multiplayer on the new consoles.
Right, well...
it's possible.
I think people do have an urge to go out and create stuff. I mean, even Minecraft shows us that.
Yeah.
You know, people want to go out and create stuff. So I don't think it's an unrealistic hope that Far Cry mapping will sort of appeal to a bigger range of people than purely, you know, the normal Far Cry fans. But anyway, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is Far Cry 3 all over again. I'm afraid that they have not listened to all the feedback because, like we said earlier, all the feedback to the devs from Far Cry 3 was constructive, and I think it would be almost a bit disrespectful to just ignore us when we put so much time into showing that we actually believe in the game franchise. And I'm afraid that they're gonna just ignore that and publish another multiplayer that disappoints us. You know, even if there's going to be vehicles, which has been confirmed for multiplayer, it's still possible to disappoint. And there's a lot of other errors about Far Cry 3 apart from the vehicles that could still be an issue in Far Cry 4. So I guess that's my biggest fear.
Alrighty. How do you see yourself covering Far Cry 4 on your channel?
I will, to be honest, I'll find my cell phone just a sec, because I've already started taking notes on my cell phone. Every time I come up with a new idea for a video about Far Cry 4, because I spend a lot of time on Far Cry, and I've got like this huge list on my phone with video ideas, but I'm not going to go into detail on all those because that would take too long. But basically the same thing as with Far Cry 3. I'll do a review, talk honestly about how I feel about the game, give it a score on the scale from 1 to 10. I'll do map reviews. I'll continue the weekly series I'm doing today, where I review custom-made maps from other players weekly. And every time I make a new custom map myself, I upload a video about it and show it off, and maybe some live streams and stuff like that.
I did see a fantastic map on your channel lately. What was it called? Human Traffic. That was it. Awesome map.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I got plenty more maps coming out soon. I've actually made a map we should play one day. I made a new one, but I haven't made a video about it yet.
Right. Well, I got to say that I am a social gamer, and if I can't talk to the people I'm playing with, I really don't have much interest in the game. So I probably won't be playing any multiplayer Far Cry 3, even though I've been enjoying the single player again. I can't see me jumping back into the multiplayer of it. Anyway, listen, I'm going to wrap this up. Guys, don't forget to leave your comments, etc. Do go and check out Lily's channel and laugh at him for calling himself Lily if you like. This is Muppet saying bye. Take it easy. Ciao.